is Healing Honey, and we're back with another video. I hope that y'all are doing amazing. I hope that y'all have had an amazing week. I hope that y'all have felt good about yourself, because y'all deserve to feel good about yourself. Regardless of how it may look in your 3D reality, you deserve to feel good about yourself regardless. So today's video will be about the origins of the womb. So we talk about the origins of the womb. We have to start at the ancient. We have to start at the beginning. So we're gonna be real here. We're gonna be real. We've been told that the woman comes from the man. But in reality, today, in this time, ain't no man birthed in women. Everything comes through the womb. Everything comes through the woman. That means that existence comes from a woman, right? Because when we think about nature, we're saying Mother Nature, not Father Nature, right? So everything starts with the womb. Everything starts with the mother, right? So we talk about the origins of the womb. When I think of a womb, I think of a portal. I think of darkness. I think of growth. I think of expansion. So just like the womb is dark, ethers is dark, right? It's black matter. As well as the womb being dark, the ethers is dark, and the ethers is expansion, as well as your womb. I say that the womb is expansion because life comes from there. The baby starts as a little organism, right? And then it grows inside of the womb. The womb expands on the inside to be able to hold what's on the inside, right? So we think about expansion in space or expansion in the ethers. We're talking about a forever expanding energy source, right? So we talk about the womb and the power of the womb. We're not just talking about physical power, right? We're not just talking about intercourse. We're not just talking about what the womb can do for someone else, but what the womb can do for a woman. Because once we realize the power of our womb, we start to move different. We start to handle ourselves different, right? So, you know, growing up in my environment, I never got told the importance of my womb. I never got told the importance of the sacredness of my womb. So that being said, I had to learn that when I was the adult. I had to learn that after I bumped my head. I had to learn that after I made mistakes. I had to learn that after I realized who I truly were. And it took healing for me to realize how important the womb is. So when you're in the womb, in your mother womb, you're listening, you're feeling, you're sensing all these different things from your mother waters. We talk about waters, right? So when you're in the womb, it's water there. You're in that liquid-like energy, as well as it being connected to the ocean, because the ocean have that deep like energy. So we're talking about the deep depths of the womb, the deep depths of the waters, because I said before that the water is connected to memory. So if you're in your mother womb, wouldn't you remember everything that she went through before you was even in the womb? If we're made out of 98% of water in our body, whatever has happened to your body is held there because memory is within your body. Water is within your body. So if you're coming into your mother womb, whatever she has experienced while she's been alive, you're now sensing that. You're now picking up on that energy. You being in that womb, you are also picking up on the energy that is currently happening while you're in the womb. So if your mom dealt with insecurities, if she dealt with abuse, if she dealt with poverty thinking, or had to do certain things for money, then that is a reflection of the energy that you are capturing within the womb, the energy that you are observing within the womb. Not just observe with your eyes or with your senses, because you could observe things with your senses, but observe as in you're observing the energy, you're observing the experiences that she's dealing with. So I am a true believer when it comes down to the women bloodline. We pick up energies from grandmothers in the past. We pick up energy from mothers in the past of our bloodline. So if, for example, if your mom or her mom dealt with abuse, that energy is within the eggs of the woman, right? It doesn't mean that, oh, it doesn't matter anymore because I'm not that age anymore, or it doesn't even matter anymore because I'm not in that situation anymore. Your body holds that energy. So, for example, say that your mom dealt with abuse or her mom dealt with abuse. That egg within the womb is hearing, sensing, picking up on all that energy within the womb. So we have to be aware that it's not just about having a child. It's not just about making creation, because we are creators as women. It is about knowing that it's deeper than what we think. So, for example, I'm gonna give y'all a personal example. My granny, my mom dealt with abuse. Not only that did she deal with abuse, her mom dealt with abuse. So when we talk about how things are being recycled within the womb, this is what we mean. When we talk about how we're able to pick up things within our womb, this is what this means, because we have to know that these generation traits, these generation cycles come through the womb. As well as if, for example, I'm gonna give y'all an example, a personal example. My dad, his mom dealt with abuse too. Not just physical abuse, but drug abuse too. So being in that womb and having a child into this world, just imagine the energy and the cycles and the lessons that that child had to go through. Imagine the traits that that child picked up from the mother. We have to be aware that it's not just surface level. We have to be aware it's not just on a conscious level, it's on a subconscious level. And if it's on the subconscious level, that means it's connected to what we can't see, what we suppress, what is unknown, what we forgot about, right? The subconscious kind of remind me of the womb, because sometimes we forget the power of our womb. Sometimes we forget the things we don't talk about, right? The subconscious deal with what's unseen. The subconscious deal with the things we don't want the world to see. The subconscious deal with the things that we hide from the world and the things we forgot about, all our traumas, right? As well as our womb. Our womb can hold trauma. If you dealt with any type of sexual abuse, I'm talking about it. If you dealt with any type of sexual abuse, that energy is still in your womb if you have not healed that. And I had to realize that I was put here to stop and end generational curses. And when I say I was put here to stop and end generational curses, I mean that I've came from a bloodline of abuse. I've came from a bloodline of sexual abuse. I've came from a bloodline of drug abuse. So that means that all these different generational curses or cycles, because that's what it is. All these generational cycles. Speaking of cycles, don't women have cycles? But anyways, coming from that, I realized that a lot of things were put on my plate, put in my reality for me to overcome and stop certain things, because what is not healed in one bloodline will be passed on to the next bloodline. And just because you're a male doesn't mean that you don't deal with trauma from your mother. I'm gonna be real with y'all, and I don't know if my parents gonna watch this YouTube video, because they do be on my YouTube video. I'm gonna be real with y'all. My dad has dealt with abuse, right? And I feel because he didn't deal with the abuse he dealt with as a child, it got passed on to me. It got passed on to my sister. It got passed on down the bloodline. So it shows you, it doesn't matter if it comes from the mother line or the dad line. It's about you realizing the power that the womb may hold, right? It's about you realizing you, at one point you was just a seed. At one point you was just a piece of your mother in her womb, as in an egg, right? Because the egg attracts the seed. The egg attracts the sperm. So in reality, we have to realize that the mother holds a lot of information in her womb. The mother holds a lot of trauma in her womb, known and unknown. Things she don't talk about, things that she don't even remember. She holds it in her womb. And that's what causes different things like thyroids and cysts and vaginal cancer. All these different things starts with the womb. And we think because we're adults now that things just go away, but that's not how it works. What is not healed, what is not acknowledged, get passed on to the next generation. Now, it's not for me to feel bad or sad that both parts of my bloodline, my mom and my dad, both dealt with some type of abuse, or their parents dealt with some type of abuse. But it's for me to be aware. Be aware of how powerful the womb is. Be aware of how structured the womb is, because if you don't realize these things, they will just be passed on and you would think it's normal. Oh, everybody in my family dealt with that. It doesn't mean that you have to accept that. It doesn't mean that you have to say, oh, that's normal. What's normal is you knowing and paying attention to what's happening within your bloodline, because we see these different things in our bloodline, but we decide to continue the cycle. We decide to keep going with the cycle. We say, oh, that runs in the bloodline. It may run in the bloodline, but it came to you for a reason. It came to you for you to stop it. It came to you for you to heal it. It came to you for you to transmute it. It's about transmuting the energy. If, for example, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm keeping it real. So my mother didn't really get that close to my granny. I say that because when my mom was a child, my granny ended up leaving because my granny dealt with abuse, right? From my grandpa. So when it comes down to my mother, I said in one of my videos that my mother did not raise me and my brother, right? So it's kind of the same thing. The children being separated from the mother, right? So it's the generational things, and it make me think about slavery. Now, I said before, I don't believe everybody was slaves. I don't believe all our ancestors were slaves. I believe that we had some ancestors that was kings. We had some ancestors that was queens. We had some ancestors that was goddesses and gods, pharaohs, right? But as well as some of them was slaves, not all of them. Some of them was slaves. So it makes me think, when the slave was on the plantation and their kids got taken away from them. Let's talk about it, because we're going to get real deep into this conversation. So from a young age already, back in the day, kids was being took from their parents. Kids was being separated from their mothers. So already, they're trying to break the connection between a mother and his child. Now, I've heard before that the reason why they decided to start doing formula for babies is to disconnect the mother from the child, right? Because back in the day, in ancient times, they would let the baby suck on the mother nipple, right? To get the milk, to get the nutrition the baby needed. But now we don't see as many mothers doing that. We see the mother birthing this child into the world, and the first thing that the mother gives the child is a bottle, is a pacifier, right? So it's not that close connection how it used to be, right? So we have to realize that all these different things are subconscious things. All these different things are programs that we have held on to. And we think, oh, because everybody's doing it, it's normal. But in reality, it's having a greater and bigger effect on us than what we know and what we think. So we have to realize that we have the power to understand and overstand the power of our womb. Our womb is not just a tool. Your womb is not just here just to be intimate with people. Your womb is a portal. And once you realize that your womb is a portal, you will start using it how you want to use it. And when I say how you want to use it, you don't just have to use your womb to birth kids. You don't have to just use your womb to be intimate. You can use your womb to create, because your womb is here to create. A lot of people don't know that your womb is a part of your creative energy. You can manifest so much things with your womb once you heal your womb. So we have to realize that the energy that we feel within our womb is creative energy. And it's not just here to create a child. So we have to realize the power of the womb, the power of our blood. Women, we have a monthly cycle, right? And within that monthly cycle is the blood. When you bleed monthly, that's not just your blood. That is your blood of your ancestors, the women in your bloodline. It is the blood of all these different ancient ancestors that reside within you. Because just because they're no longer breathing within the 3D does not mean that they're not within. It doesn't mean that they're not here. Just because you can't see them with your physical eyes, which some people can, which I can, it does not mean that they're not here with you. So we have to realize your blood is pure. Your blood is powerful. Your blood can do so many different healing things if you're aware of it. So I talked about in one of my videos, I don't know which video it was. I talked about in one of my videos how what really started my healing journey was me waking up out my sleep crying one day. And when I say waking out my sleep crying one day, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I mean, I thought I did all my healing. I thought I let go of everything I needed to let go of. I thought everything was good, y'all. Until I woke up out my sleep crying. And I woke up out my sleep crying because the same person that abused me in several ways when I was a child was coming in my dream to take away two of the most important people in my life, which is my mother and my brother. Now, this person knows my mother and my brother in real life. That's why I said them too. So, I woke up out my sleep crying, and that to my subconscious mind or to my conscious mind meant some things needed to be healed. Some things needed to be faced. It meant that maybe some things you need to look at. And I felt that the same person that took what they took from me or tried to take what they took from me was coming to take what else I loved, right? And in that moment, I had to be real with myself. I had to face myself and say, okay, it's still some shit you need to heal. It's still some things you need to face. So in that moment, I took accountability. Not accountability for what they did, but accountability to my healing, accountability to who I am today, accountability on how I'm moving through the world, because we can let certain things hinder us, or we can move past certain things. So I decided I'm going to move past this. I'm going to heal this. I'm going to face this. And a lot of the times, we're not facing the person. We're facing ourselves. We're facing our child self. We're facing our shadow self. Because what we don't face, what we don't heal, what we don't talk about, what we suppress, it's all to do with the shadow self. It's all to do with the child self. Because at one point, I didn't think my child self was strong. She didn't feel strong because she was in an environment that she could not control, right? So for a long time, she felt like she was stuck in a prison. She felt like she was stuck in a mental prison. And I had to go back to get her. I had to go back and see her. And when I say see her, sometimes we block out our child self. Sometimes we suppress our child self. And when we suppress our child self, it gets mad. It wants to be heard. It wants to be seen. Because if you don't see it, who else gonna see it? If you didn't get the love, the attention, and you didn't get poured into as a child, your child self expects you to do it, because you came into this world with yourself and you're going to leave out this world with yourself. So if you don't got yourself, who else got you? We expect everybody else to have us, but do you got you, right? So I had to be real with myself and realize, okay, this was put into my life for a reason, not out of victimship. And of course, I had moments of feeling like a victim. For a long time, for years, I felt like a victim of my past, a victim of my reality. But I had to start realizing you're not a victim. You're so much more. The fact that you came into this knowing that you can heal yourself tells me everything that I need to know. The fact that you're aware that this is a cycle that has happened in your bloodline, right? So we have to be aware that some of the things that we experience in our life is for us to heal, is for us to not pass it on to our kids if we have kids. It's for us to take a step back and realize this is put on my plate for a reason, right? I can decide to eat the food, or I can decide not to eat the food. I can decide what I want to do with the food. And I decided I'm going to do what I have to do to heal me. And my healing is not going to look like everybody else. But I know that I can heal my spirit, I can heal my mind, I can heal my womb, and I can heal my body, right? So we talk about the womb. We talk about also the dark, deep things that people do not talk about. And that's why I said the womb is connected to the subconscious mind, because so many women, y'all, if y'all hear kids outside, it's kids at the playground, but it's so many untalked about things that happen to women, that happen to little girls, that people don't talk about. And this is a part of what I feel my life mission is to help women know that you can heal your past, help women know that you can heal your womb. These are some of the things that I help my clients with: healing their womb, sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, all these different things, because I've dealt with all of them. I've dealt with all abuse growing up in that household. So I had to realize that I have the power to heal myself. I have the power to heal my womb. And because I am in line with myself, I am aware that it's some things I need to heal within my womb. So once I started doing the healing work, I realized that my womb is more powerful than what I've told. They just told me about my cycle, but it's so much more about my womb that they don't talk about, that they don't teach you, that you gotta dig within yourself to remember, to discover, to recover, right? Because a lot of the times we don't even acknowledge the power of our womb because we're not aware. We just think it's a tool, as well as the energies that we keep. When I say the energies that we keep, I'm talking about the energies that we keep within our womb. When you're having intercourse with people and they don't value you, they don't love you, and they're dealing with their own shit, they're dealing with their own demons, because we all have demons. The demons is the things you don't want to talk about. The demons is the past versions of yourself that you suppress. The demons is all the things from your past that you don't want to face, right? They come and they turn into demons. So you're allowing all this into your womb. What do you think your womb energy is? If we have a womb, we have the ability to suck up energy, right? Because our womb is a portal. So if our womb is a portal, what goes into our womb, we birth. So you're birthing all these negative thought forms. You're birthing all these negative entities within yourself, within your womb, and you're carrying that with you. And people don't realize that the things that you carry within your womb can shape generations, to come, right? So I had to realize that. My womb is not just a tool. My womb is a portal. It is a temple. And at one point, I didn't know that. At one point, I didn't remember that. At one point, I had to realize this is not just here just to be here. This is here because it can create, and not just create kids. We're not just put here to create kids. We're put here to create generations. And I'm not saying generations of kids. I'm saying generations of life, birthing, creation, businesses, empires, all these different things we was put here to birth. Birthing healing, birthing love, birthing abundance. That's what the womb is for. We have to realize that if we came from the waters of the womb, it's holding so much energy, it's holding so much trauma. I never mentioned this before. And like I said, I know if my parents gonna watch my YouTube or my mama's gonna watch my YouTube, but I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. My mom had her first child at 16. That child was premature. That child transitioned. I think the child was 2 pounds and 8 ounces. So after my mom had my first brother, she had my other brother that I talk about in my videos, right? And we have to realize, if a mother lost a child, that energy is still within her womb. That pain is still within her womb. That energy of that child, what that child was thinking in that womb, what that child was feeling in that womb, right? We have to realize that these things just don't go away. You can't say, oh, it's in the past, I'm just gonna leave it in the past. That's not how shit work. We have to know that the power of the body, the power of the womb is very, very important, because if you did not heal what happened to you with that child, when you have that next child, who's to say that that energy is not going to get passed on to that child? That hurt, that pain, that sadness, all these different things get passed on to the next child. So we have to realize, especially being a woman that comes from a woman. Because you are the woman, not saying that the man don't get the energy from the mother, but especially being the first girl, being the only girl from your mom, we have to realize the power of the womb, the power of the power of the egg. So we talk about how your grandmother or your great grandmother has so many eggs within her womb, right? So she's carrying generations within her womb already, and she had to make it through all this terror, all this fear, all these obstacles that she went through within her life, right? So you have to think also how powerful a woman is to be able to make it through slavery, to be able to make it through all these different things that could have took her out, that could have suppressed her, that could have stopped her from making it to birth you. Because at the end of the day, if we are our ancestors, if we are connected to the womb, we have to realize that them eggs within the womb, they experience some shit too, right? It's your ancestor was a slave, and they made it to, your mom was able to birth you into this realm. You have to realize that you picked up on that energy while your grandma was a slave too. You picked up all the things she had to deal with when she was a slave too. Speaking of, y'all, I had a dream, like, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I had a dream. It was a little confusing at the beginning, but I'm just gonna tell y'all what happened. So I was in a room, I don't know who house I was at, and it was this body on the floor, like they was transitioned, like they wasn't here no more. It was a woman body, and out of nowhere, a cup appeared in my hand that had red wine in there. Now, when I seen this red wine, my spirit told me to pour out some wine on the floor like libations. When I poured out the wine on the floor like libation, the woman that was on the floor that was transitioned in that moment got up and walked out of the room like it was nothing. Like I made her relive, like I made her come back alive, right? So when I seen the red wine, it made me think about blood as well, right? The connection that we have with the blood in our body, the connection that we have with our ancestors within our body. So I'm not sure if the woman saw me. I don't think she saw me. So I'm following this woman out the room, and as she's walking out the room, it's this baby that come out of nowhere crawling on the floor. I think the baby was a boy. I don't know what gender the baby was. And I'm watching everything. It's like I'm observing everything. I'm paying attention to everything. And the woman was black. The woman goes into the living room. I follow her in the living room. The baby's on the floor crawling. And it's this white woman with blonde hair on the couch. And it's like the woman was taking care of this white woman. And I realized in this moment, this is what a lot of our ancestors had to deal with. This is what a lot of our ancestors dealt with even after slavery, right? Having to take care of, different races and stuff to take care of their family, to make sure they had food on their table, to make sure they had money in their pocket. So when I'm watching everything, I'm realizing what's happening, and it made me question, is this one of my ancestors? Could this be one of my ancestors and they showing me what they had to do? It was a question, because I know that red wine in spirit is a representation of blood. When you give red wine to spirits, when you give libations of red wine, that is a formation of blood, because the color is red, right? So when you're in church, and you doing, what is it called, communion, and you drinking the blood, and it red, and it like purple like, So it's the same type of energy, right? So I realized that, and it made me reflect. It made me reflect on how a lot of our ancestors had to do things they didn't want to do. They had to do things out of survival. And you can tell that the woman, the black woman, really didn't want to do it, but she had to do it, right? So it just made me think about, even down to that, even down to the things they didn't want to do but had to do. How they had to take care of the master, how they had to feed the master, how they had to heal the master, had to do all these different things. Where do you think it goes? In your womb. And also, I said in one of my videos how my godmother had told this woman, stop letting people in your womb. And she said, I haven't let nobody in my womb. And she said, I'm talking about your other womb, your mind. Ain't your mind in darkness? Ain't it dark in your mind? Ain't it dark here? We have to realize that your subconscious has to be connected to your womb, right? Because as well as not only could your womb affect you, but your mind can affect you. And if your mind feels like it's imprisoned, what do you think is going to happen? We have to realize that there's so many different things that we can heal within our being. And we have the power to do that. I had to face a lot of things from my past, dealing with my womb. That was scary. That was hard. That my subconscious mind kept reminding me of, look here, pay attention here. I'm telling you something. Your dreams be telling you what you need to work on. Your dreams be telling you maybe you need to check that out, because your dreams is a part of your subconscious mind, right? Your womb can't outright tell you you need to heal that. Your womb can't outright tell you you need to work on that. Now, it will give you signals by any type of fibroids, by any type of cysts, by any type of tumors, by any type of cancers. But it's up to you to realize that your body is communicating with you. As a woman, we should all be connected to our womb. It's not something that's foreign. It shouldn't be something that's foreign. It should be something that's normal to talk about. It should be something that we love to talk about. And even down to our cycle. Some people don't even like their cycle. Some people complain each month that their cycle come on. Not realizing that our cycle is connected to Mother Nature as well. We have ancestors that used to give offerings of our cycle blood to the earth, to feed the earth. Mother Nature, right? Mother Nature. So, as well as, at one point, we was able to birth children without needing anyone else. And when I say birth children, we had the power to have children without needing an outside person. It's called, oh, don't quote me, y'all. I'm gonna put the name right here somewhere. But we had the power to do that. See, even though I don't read the Bible, it's certain things that I know in the Bible. How Mary was able to have a child without having intercourse. How do you think she was able to do that? Right there in the Bible, they were trying to tell you something, right? It's truths underneath lies. It's truth underneath lines. We gotta realize you gotta read between the lines. We have to overstand and understand these things. So we talk about the mother, we talk about the womb. We have to talk about all the ancient entities. We have to talk about all the ancient goddesses, the divine mother, because divine mother is who birthed everything, right? Creation. We talk about all these entities: Isis, Maat, Sheba, Aset, Hathor, Oshun, Yemaya, Oya, lit all these different ancient beings that birth the world, that birth humanity. The feminine energy, the divine feminine energy, the womb, the waters, the deep depth waters that so many people run from, that so many people are not aware of because we wasn't taught this. Some things are not going to be taught to you. It's up to you to do the research. It's up to you to want to know more about yourself, want to know more about your body, want to know more about the past and not just the past they gave you. Because that textbook, that history book is not your shit. That book is not your shit. A lot of things has been changed. A lot of things have been rewritten. A lot of things are not the truth. We got to realize that if certain systems or certain people within the world that's supposedly over the world or supposedly running the world, if they really wanted you to know the truth, wouldn't they gave that to you? But no, they want you, that you have to do the research yourself. You got to do the work yourself. You got to figure out yourself. You got to remember yourself. Literally, you got to remember yourself. And once you start to remember yourself, all these different truths will come about. And some things is not going to be in a book. Some things is not going to be online. Some things you're going to have to tap in within yourself and get the answers, because some things don't need an outside influence. Some things you can find out on the inside of you. And I had to realize, damn, I come from a line of abuse. I was abused. That means it's some healing that needs to happen within the women within my bloodline. I have great aunts that have dealt with physical abuse, sexual abuse, right? I told y'all the story about how my great aunt was abused and how my other great aunt was able to see angels and ancestors around her after she got abused. This is something that we all have to tap into, because if we're not aware of the trauma, if we're not aware of the roots, because this is a part of the roots, right? If we're not aware of the roots, how can we heal? How can we transmute? How can we get over what we've been through in the past? We have to face these certain things. And so many times I had to look myself in the mirror and talk to myself and love on myself, and talk to my womb and love on my womb. If you don't care about yourself, how could you care about your mind? How could you care about your womb? That means that you will let anyone and anything within your mind in your womb, right? That means that you would take any type of bullshit, right? That means that you would put any type of bullshit within your mind in your womb, right? So we got to realize that if you say that you truly love yourself, if you say that you truly value yourself, if you say that you have self-worth, are you really showing that? Are you really being that? Because it's going to show up in different ways. By the people you allow in your womb, by the people you allow in your life, by the things that you accept, because we accept certain things. Yeah, we do. We take accountability over here. We accept certain things. It's called allowance, and we allow certain things. So we can say, oh, that person did that to me. Or you could say, I allowed that shit. I didn't know no better. I didn't love myself. I couldn't see myself. I didn't see my self-worth. I went through that in the past when I was a child, and it made me not love myself, and it made me not have self-worth, right? I remember I was like 14 years old, and I told the people that raised me, I said, I'm insecure. And they told me, you're not insecure. You don't know what the fuck insecure is. Now, being 14 years old, not only did I have bullies at school, I had bullies in my house. The first bully was in my house, right? So me realizing at an early age that I had some things, or me reflecting back to an early age, I had to realize that I had some things that showed up when I was a child, not being aware of that things was affecting me in ways I couldn't even see, by the actions I was taking, by the thoughts I had, how I felt by myself, the projections of the world, the projections of my environment. I carried these things and I held on to these things, right? And I held on to these things within my subconscious mind and within my heart and within my womb. I held on to these things, but I had to realize that I can get through this. I can heal this. I can face this. And I don't gotta pass this shit on. I don't have to pass it on to my nieces and nephews. Because I have nieces. Because I have a little sister. I don't have to pass this shit on to them. I don't have to say, this is yours to carry, you heal it. No. If I'm aware that I have the power to heal my womb, if I'm aware that I have the power to heal myself, why would I allow the next generation to do that? It's my responsibility. And a lot of people don't want to take a responsibility and accountability for who they are right now and how their life is going. Because we're not children anymore, we have to take a responsibility on our healing. We have to take accountability and responsibility on our life. So I had to realize that it's certain things that I work with my clients with, and healing the womb is one of them. Healing the womb is one of them because a lot of women are disconnected from their womb. And if you've ever been sexually abused, I don't know if you can say this on YouTube, but I'm gonna say it anyways. If you ever been sexually abused and then been told when you was a child that you're promiscuous or you're fast. Oh, I hate hearing that shit when I was young. Oh, you fast. Or you hot. That did something to your mind. That did something to your womb. Not realizing what was happening in the moment. Even to this day, there's so many women that is showing up in ways they don't want to show up in because of their past, because of what happened to them, because they got abused in several ways. And we got to realize that. We got to be aware of how deep this shit go, how deep the wound go, and know that your body is not just a tool. It's so many more things that you can do with your womb. It's so many more things you can do with your spirit. And you got the power to heal your womb. It doesn't matter how long it was. It doesn't matter, if you're 50 years old now. You have that power to be able to tap in within yourself and know that you're worth love, that you're worth healing. We have to realize that our womb is not just for pleasure. Our womb is to create. Our womb is to transmute. Our womb is to heal. A lot of people don't even know that being intimate with someone, the right person, can heal you. And I'm not saying that person is healing you. I'm saying that the act of being intimate with someone can be healing. And I'm saying as in our womb can not only birth things into this world, can not only create things into this world, but can heal. I remember being associated with this one goddess, and she told me that she feel like when she have intercourse with people, they're taking her life, they're taking her energy, and like she's picking up all their negative energy and demons, and she's giving all her energy away. That's telling you something. That's telling you that you got healing power, but you keep giving it out to the wrong person. You're not meant to heal these people that you come in contact with your womb. They're meant to heal their fucking selves. They're meant to heal their fucking selves. Yes. And we have to realize that our womb is not just a tool. Our womb is powerful. Our womb connects us back to our ancestors. Our wombs are one of the most sacred things outside of our mind and spirit that we have. And we got to tap back into this energy. So many people demonize the womb and the woman and the divine feminine. But a lot of us is waking the fuck up and realizing it's so much more to myself. I'm so much more than my body. I'm so much more than my womb. I'm so much more than what I can do for someone else. So I had to realize that you're not just your body. You're not just your looks. You're not just your ass. You're not just your titties. You're not just a pretty face. You're so much more. You're so much more, right? And we gotta realize that. We gotta also realize, as being a woman, we're connected to Mother Nature. Why do you think so many women are healers? Why do you think so many women are connected to the earth? Like I said before, it's called Mother Nature for a reason. Because we nurture things, and we're connected to nature. And once we realize that, that's when things start to shift and make sense for us and to us. But until then, we will be in a continued cycle of us feeling like we can't get out of certain loops, mental loops, physical loops. The people that we date, you're wondering why your relationship is not lasting with people. It's not lasting because you don't value yourself. It's not lasting because you don't value your womb. It's not lasting because you don't value your mind. It's not lasting because you don't truly love yourself. A person can pick up on if you truly love yourself. A person can pick up if you truly have self-value and self-worth. Because how people treat you is a reflection on how you treat yourself. And if you don't truly love yourself, and I'm not just saying your looks, because at the end of the day, when you transition out of your body, you're not even going to have this body no more. You're going to be nothing but your spirit. So on a spirit level, on a soul level, do you love yourself? Do you value yourself? Do you see your self-worth? Not just your physical vessel. I remember being young, always comparing myself to other people. Always wanted to be different. Always wanted to look like someone else because I didn't love myself, because I thought I wasn't enough, right? But I had to realize it's disrespectful for me to want to look like, be like anybody else but my fucking self. It's disrespectful for me to feel like I'm not worthy, because it's only going to be one Mariah. It's only going to be one me. You could have my name, but it's only going to be one me. No one else is going to have my blueprint like I have this blueprint. And after I transition out this life, and wherever I go, if I reincarnate to something else or to someone else, it's only going to be that one aspect of me. So we have to realize that it's only one you. And if you don't value you, who else gonna value you? If you don't love you, who else is going to love you? I used to not like what I seen in the mirror, but I had to realize it's not about me changing the mirror. It's about me loving myself fully, even with my imperfections, even with my flaws, even with all the things that society make you feel like you're not worthy of, that you're supposed to be perfect 24/7, that you're supposed to look like these celebrities that not even real, they don't even love themselves, right? I'd rather me truly love myself from the inside out than me try to be like somebody else, than me try to hold myself up to this standard that's not even fucking real. Because beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, right? So you may feel like you're not beautiful, but baby, don't nobody else look like you. And I'm not just saying the weave. I'm not just saying the eyelashes. I'm not just saying the makeup. I'm not just saying the ass. I'm not just saying the titties. Fuck the physical. Don't nobody else got your spirit and your true spirit before life happened, before trauma happened, before all these different things happened. Nobody else got your spirit but you. So you got to realize I'd rather me look like me and be like me and be true to myself than try to change, try to bend, try to be like somebody else that's not really me, than me to be like me. Because it's only one me. And I gotta love me for me. I got this tattoo years ago. My imperfections is what make me perfect. I think that's what it say. My imperfection, I can't see it right now, y'all. My imperfections is what makes me perfect, or my imperfections is what makes me beautiful. Everything that you don't like about yourself, your flaws, is what make you beautiful. The things that you think you're not good in, your weaknesses, it's all a part of your strengths as well. Because if you feel like you're weak in certain spots, maybe you need to look a little closer and see, nah, I can use this to my advantage. Nah, I can use this. Because I had to realize that everything I went through in the past that was bad, that was traumatic, I can use this and I can heal this and I can transmute this to help somebody else, to help birth new generations without having any kids, without being a mother. I can help birth children, as in, because we're adults, sometimes we still have children minds. Sometimes we still have children emotions because that little child part of us didn't get healed. So that means that you're walking around as an adult, but you're still sad and depressed like a child. So when I help women heal, because they're really doing the healing, I'm just helping them in the process. I'm helping them realize that they have the power to heal. I also help them with their child self, because the child self want to be heard too. So when we talk about healing, we're not just talking about healing our adult self. We're talking about healing our child self too. So once we start doing the child work, the shadow work, and the adult work, that's when things start to come together for us. That's when things start to become brighter and better for us. If you don't love you, who else gonna love you? If you don't care about you, who else gonna care about you? We be wanting everybody else to love us, to see us, support us. Do you see you? Do you feel you? Do you support you? Do you show up for you? Or are you just acting? Are you just having a mask on? I put my mask down a long fucking time ago. I got tired of putting certain masks on. I got tired of putting different masks on for people, for them to feel good, for me to live up to society standards. Fuck, fuck society standards. I make my own standards. And once you start healing, it's a lot of things in the world that you're not going to try to be anymore, that you're not going to lower yourself to be anymore. Because baby, we up here. We're up here, baby. We're up here. And not out of ego. But when I say we're up here, because we know where we came from. We came from down here. We had to descend down. We descended down to earth, right? We done been through some low times in our life, right? We done went through some low times in our life. So I had to descend to ascend. Sometimes we gotta descend to ascend. Because we up here, we don't lower ourselves. We know our value. We know our worth. We know that we're truly divine from the inside out, without other people telling us. Not with outside validation. Not with likes, not with views. Because at the end of the day, them likes and them views can go away at any time. They could decide to shut down the internet today. Who are you going to be? Who are you going to be? They could decide to get rid of all eyelashes and makeup. Who are you going to be? This is an option I decide to wear on my avatar. Because this is an illusion. This is not real, right? I am the spirit within my body. I am the soul within my body. I am not this physical being. So I have to realize that the things that happen on this physical realm is to make me better. Is to elevate me. Is for me to remember. For me to realize who I truly am. Who I've been the whole time. but I had a loss of memory of myself, of my divinity, of my true essence, right? Right. I thank y'all and I love y'all. I hope that y'all got something from this video. If y'all are interested in any of my services, all my services are in the description below. I love y'all. Until next time, Helen Honey, peace.